everybody, it's Tyler from realestatemap.com. I just want to show you guys a new product that we put out called the Renovation Estimator. So what this is a quick way to generate renovation estimates on any project you do. If you're a wholesaler, you can generate quick renovation estimates and put them in your marketing. If you're a rehabber, this is a quick way to run through deals to figure out if they make sense. Let's dive into it. When you first get it, you're going to get a link to a blank estimator template and a pricing structure sheet. You don't want to work out of the estimator template. You're going to copy it by pressing duplicate, and you're going to make a new sheet for each house. But the cool thing is this calculator is highly customizable. So in the pricing structure tab here, let's go up to the top. You have two sections where you can dial in your prices. Depending on your market and what you pay at the store, you can change the prices for all these different line items that the calculator runs on. So I put all of our pricing in there to start with, so you have a baseline and the calculator works out of the box. But say you buy a stove for $500 and I put $400 in there, you can change that, and every time you make an estimate, it is using your specific pricing. Pretty cool. So just to show you, you click into exterior, that opens up. You can change the pricing for roofing type materials, landscaping, siding, foundations, and windows. You click into interior, that breaks out into your mechanical pricing, plumbing, appliances, the hardware that goes into a house, and those rough materials like flooring and tile like that. So you start out with the estimator template, you make your copy, press this button here, you rename it. This will be the sheet for a house. Let's call it 123 Main Street. There we go. So we're going to start out at the top of the page here. We're going to fill in our property specifics. You can pull this stuff from the MLS. You can pull it from the county website, but let's just fill that in. 2,000, 4 beds, 2 baths, 3 floors, rentable units. Let's say this is a duplex. Market rent of $1,400 for both units. $3,000 in taxes. We bought the place for, let's say we got a good deal, $33,000, and the ARV is $140,000. So it's going to be blank to start, but let's start filling out our scope for this rehab. You can see I have a little expanded budget detail there. This will start to populate as we click some buttons in this calculator. This is where it gets cool. I developed this to be a very fast and easy way to generate renovation estimates on houses. There's a couple other products in the market that are similar, but it takes so much time to fill them out. They're way too granular. What we're looking for is a quick estimate on the top high-ticket items that you will run into on a typical rehab. I'll give you a little bit of background. When I was working the rehab sides of things at Matt's business, Easy Street, I would go into each acquisition we got and I would floor plan each house and end up making a budget for every single project that we were going to close on. We would do this in between the closing date and our contract date. That way we can get in during our inspection period and back out of a deal if we figure out that it doesn't make sense, or proceed if it makes sense and there's a decent amount of profit in there. But over that time of doing all those walkthroughs, I've done about 300, 400 of them. I developed a system to make it really fast and easy to do renovation numbers quickly. I would go into a house and I would actually sketch and floor plan a house. Some of you guys might have already seen that in my previous Freebie Friday videos and stuff like that, or the rehab manual. But go through, floor plan a house, make my sketch of what it is, put it into CAD, and then I had square footage based numbers for every single room in the house. And then I would come back and go to a calculator, just like this one I made for you guys. This is pretty much the same thing that I use in our company. I just packaged it up a little bit nicer and made it a little bit more user-friendly. But take those square footage-based numbers and get pretty accurate renovation numbers very quickly. So let's go through exterior detail. We're going to start with the house length. Let's do 40 by 30 by 24 feet high. The garage on this house is 20 by 20 by 10. This house has how many exterior entrance doors? Let's say we have 6, and the house has maybe like 20 windows on it. That's our baseline numbers for the calculator to start making its calculations on. Now the roof, we notice that the garage roof needs replaced, and maybe the house roof is leaking and we need to replace that too. So we're going to put in our replacement squares of roof. Square is 100 square feet. You can estimate this based on the square footage of the house quickly. Just grab the calculator real quick, and let's say we need to do 20 squares of roof on the house. We're going to tear off that existing roof, we're going to reshingle it, and we're going to resheet that roof because maybe we notice it's leaked so bad that the plywood underneath the roof needs replaced. You quickly get a total estimate, labor and material, to replace that roof. Now the garage, that's about 10 squares. We're going to do the same scope there, and there's your price. It goes the same exact way for every different section of this calculator. Pretty much just punch in the number, like the siding. I've actually built in a little calculator here for siding, and before I launch this, I'll probably end up putting a roof calculator here too. Let's say the house is 32 by 20 by 24, right there. My house needs 25 squares of siding. So 25, let's do the siding, 11 grand to side that house. Let's say the garage is 14 squares, let's side that. There's my cost. Now as you build this, if you scroll back up, you'll see that your numbers are now filling in and you're building your budget. Contractor labor 24 grand, material 6,400, and these graphs, labor cost by trade, starting to build out right there. Let's keep going. Let's do some windows. 4 windows are bad, and maybe 10 screens are bad. The yard, you can look this up on the MLS. Say the yard is 6,000 square feet. We're gonna do our general scope of mulch plants to make it look nice and presentable. It had some high grass, so we're gonna click that there. We need to trim some trees back from the house, trim 3 of those back. We're gonna remove 2 dead trees, and we're gonna clean up the trash in the yard. And there is our yard budget. Now, let's go down into mechanicals. For a lot of people, unless you're pretty experienced, mechanicals are tough to estimate because they're kind of like an unknown. But when I've done all those 300 to 400 renovation estimates for Matt's company, I worked hand in hand with plumbing masters, HVAC masters, and electrical masters on every single estimate I did. And I've learned a lot from them, and I've put it directly into this calculator. So just for HVAC, let's say, this is a duplex, maybe we want to make it a triplex if it works. We're going to put in 1 new gas meter. We're going to put 3 new furnaces. We're also going to go up to the top here, post-rehab gas fixtures. This is every single piece in the house that needs a gas valve. Think of your dryer, your stove, your furnaces, everything that has gas supplied to it. You punch that number in here. Let's just rough it and say 12 fixtures. And post, we're going to have 3 meters. That affects your costs. Now, we're going to put 2 new electrical meters in for the new units, 3 new panels because they need updated. I'm going to rough in those 3 ACs. Bam, there's your electrical mechanical costs. Same thing over here with plumbing for all those different plumbing fixtures. And there's actually a cool little section down here, new locations, which is, say you're taking a bedroom and you want to convert it into a bathroom to bring up ARV. Typically what we see is if you add a bathroom to a house, you're increasing the ARV by about $10,000. So maybe we want to add a half bath. Let's add 1 sink and 1 toilet. That's the cost to add a sink and a toilet to a location that doesn't exist before. We'll keep on going. Interior detail. This is broken out by room, kitchen, living area. Living area is the sum of all areas like stairwells, living rooms, everything that's not a bedroom or a kitchen is summed up into the living area detail. So you have to take that into consideration when putting in your living area square feet. Let's say that's 1,700 square feet. The max ceiling height in those areas is 10 feet. And I noticed that someone punched a hole in the wall in a couple places and they're just damaged, so we're going to put in about 10 sheets of drywall. Our budget starts to build. We're going to put in new flooring in 1,200 square feet of that room, new carpet in 500 square feet of that. We're going to need some flooring adhesive for that hard flooring, and we're going to paint the walls and paint the trim and all of that. Now our living area detail, we have our budget. Same thing for the bedrooms. It keeps on going just like that, like I just showed you. The bathrooms is a little bit more detailed. Let's say we have a 150 square foot bathroom, max ceiling height of 8. We're going to replace the toilet, faucet, sink, just basically our full scope, vanity, trim kit, everything. Our budget builds for the bathroom. The whole point of this calculator is speed, and getting those numbers down. That way you can turn these deals around fast and do more volume. So that's pretty much it for the calculator. You can see how easy it is. Just click and go for your pricing structure. You set it once and forget about it. You fill this out, maybe you fill this out once a year, maybe you fill it out every 6 months and update it. But it's so nice having a calculator that you set these things up once and you can run tons of estimates through it, and you know they're accurate and dialed into your specific market. For anyone that wants to see the calculations that go on behind this, if I zoom out here to 50%, I press this little plus button here, you see it says click to expand calculations. You can actually see all the calculations that go into building these estimates. I keep them hidden just for aesthetics. They're all there for you if you ever need to know a specific cost on what you paid for a certain thing, say like the trim kit in this bathroom, $100 and $100. But let's go back and hide them and zoom back in. We go back to the top here and we have our budget built out. Contractor labor, electrical, plumbing, HVAC, and our nice graphs. And based on our purchase price and ARV, this deal makes sense. 24 grand profit, 17% profit. We're gonna proceed with this and close this house. Now let's say you paid $50,000 for this house. This deal really doesn't make sense. I mean, 7 grand profit's pretty tight. Maybe you can cut down your scope a little bit, but that's what this estimator is for, to make quick decisions in your inspection period between closing and contract. That way you can go back, figure out if the deal needs to get pushed to close, or you need to cancel it, maybe get a reduction. This estimator will really help you. If you click here on this video tutorial button, a video tutorial will pop up with me if you ever get stuck on a certain section. But I try to make this as easy as possible for anyone to use. I'm really excited to launch this because so many people have asked us about it, and I hope you take advantage of it in your business. I'll see you guys in the next video.